and welcome to the History Buff Talk Show. Today, we welcome Dana and Jillian to talk about the opening of their new September 11th museum. I want to remind you all that this is just a small glimpse of the many features that will be inside of the museum opening next fall. Now, if you could all join me in welcoming Dana and Jillian to the stage.
Hi, so good to see you again.
Thank you for having us here with you today.
Anytime. How are you going to depict Al-Qaeda in this museum?
We are going to have a room that is dedicated to the events leading up to 9/11. First, we will describe a terrorist attack that happened in 1993. Then the museum will explain the history of Al-Qaeda, what part of the world they are from, and who Osama bin Laden is.
First, we will do this by having a virtual map on the walls of this room that shows Saudi Arabia and the other Arab nations on the map. It will be an interactive map where visitors can click on the countries and learn more about them. For example, if you were to click on the map of the United States, it would show how several of the Al-Qaeda leaders were living here for over a year and even taking flying lessons at flight schools in the United States.
That is a really great idea, Jillian. How are you going to describe who Osama bin Laden is?
In order to show Osama bin Laden, we are going to have a timeline of his participation in Al-Qaeda and a picture of him behind a curtain so that people have to open it in order to see the information. This way people can disregard him if they choose to do so.
Then, on the last wall, we are going to depict the events that occurred in 1993. We believe this is important because this was the first attack trying to take down the World Trade Center.
That seems like a very interesting room. What are you going to be showing in the other rooms?
Another room will be dedicated to the attacks in the World Trade Center that occurred on September 11, 2001. Part of the room will be a still reenactment of the World Trade Center the day it was attacked. There will be a realistic model of the building after the attack. There will be artifacts such as newspapers, clothing, bones, and debris from the day. There will be an ongoing sound of bodies falling throughout the room. This will allow visitors to really get a feel of what happened on September 11th.
Wow.
We are actually going to have similar rooms to depict what happened at the Pentagon and the plane that crashed into the field in Pennsylvania. For example, we will have stairs leading to a balcony that will overlook a reenactment of what the field in western Pennsylvania looks like today. In these rooms, we will give visitors the option to purchase a headset to hear the final words of many victims. The proceeds will be donated to families who lost loved ones from these attacks.
I hate to interrupt you, Jillian, but we really have to go on our commercial break now.
Okay.
Welcome back to the History Buff Talk Show. If you are just joining us now, we are here talking with Dana and Jillian, who are sharing the inside details of the 9/11 Museum opening next fall. We have time to hear about one more room until we have to welcome our next guests onto the stage. What final room do you think would be most important to tell us about?
The final room is going to be an interactive children's room that will be dedicated to anti-bullying and hatred amongst different cultural groups. In this room, we will have 10-minute puppet shows teaching children about terrorism and how we should all try to get along. We'll have a wall where children can make a pledge to how they will stop hatred amongst all people.
We think it is important to have a room to teach the children in a less emotional way because these tragedies can be very hard for them to take.
Wow, what a great idea. That is definitely a great way to teach children the effects 9/11 had on America as a whole. What is the overall reasoning for creating this museum?
We're creating this museum because we want to educate our society on the importance of these events and how we can learn from them in the future. We want visitors to leave with a better understanding of the events from all perspectives. Visiting this museum will be very emotional for people, and when exiting, we recommend people to visit the memorial that's next door.
Okay, thank you both so much for joining us today on the History Buff Talk Show. I recommend all of you to visit the museum when it opens next fall.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Bye.